What's up, people? It's your boy George back for another unboxing and review. This is Marvelous Statues, the show where we get to unbox and review some of the coolest statues and collectibles known to man. So on today's episode, we are taking a look at Sideshow Collectibles' new Black Widow premium format figure. This is the exclusive edition, so stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back, and before we get started, make sure if you like videos like this to give us a like if you enjoy this video, and definitely ding that bell to get notified when we come out with videos like this. Is because we're doing it quite often. So this is the Sideshow premium format Black Widow, the exclusive edition. This is the brand new one that they just came out with. Now I was pumped right off the bat when I first saw this piece. You know, one, because the exclusive had such a low edition size, only 750 pieces made of that one, and she looked pretty damn good when I first saw the images of her. So I was pretty hyped up. Now, when I saw her again at Sideshow, at San Diego Comic-Con, I was a little bit less excited. Let's just put it that way. But, you know, I'm interested to see what she looks like anyway and give you my thoughts up close and personal as I was seeing her behind the glass at the convention. So let's unbox her and see what's going on with her, right? All right. Alright, there is the box for her. Sideshow exclusive, the premium format. This is what she looks like right there. I gotta say, I do like the box art for this one. It's got nice slick black appeal to it. Got the Black Widow there. You got some kind of logo in the back there. I don't know what this is exactly, but looks cool. I like the different effects like that. All the fire and everything going on, and the Black Widow symbol right there. So box looks good. I like that it's, you know, compact in size, so that's not too bad. So let's get her out of the box and let's take a look at her, right? All right. Alright, so there she is, the Black Widow premium format figure. Now, I think that the assembly was very, very simple. This one didn't really need any instructions at all. Everything fit in pretty good. There are a couple things that I would note when you get your packaging. This is how mine came anyway. Both of the hands of the Sentry, the Ultron Sentry, they were not covered in any kind of tissue. So I don't know why they didn't do that. Everything else was covered in tissue. I would prefer that they would take and put, you know, tissue with plastic wrapping around it. I think that would be nicer. But yeah, at least it was wrapped in tissue. I'm not seeing any scratches or anything like that. There wasn't any damaged pieces on this one, so that's nice. So there she is. Other things too is that this hand here, this went in very, very tightly. So I don't know how that is with you guys, but you know, you really had to give it a good push to get it in, and getting it out, you can see I'm gotta really wiggle it to get it out. So, you know, that fits in there like real tight. So just something to note there. So this is the regular head, as you can see here. I like that they decided to take and cut it here right at this neckline here, and I'll talk about that in the review. But this is the regular head that you get with the collector's version, and then the exclusive version is this one right here, and it slides right in just like that. Okay, and it feels a tad bit loose, so something else to note. All right, there she is. Give me a few minutes with it and we'll go into a review on her. All right. Alright guys, so I've been taking a look at her for a few hours now, taking some pictures, really got up close and personal with her, and I'm ready to talk about it. So, let's talk about the reasoning. I know I started off this video saying that I was a little bit disappointed with this one when I saw it at San Diego Comic-Con. So the major reason why I was disappointed is that I really wanted this piece. A friend of mine has the original Sideshow Premium format Black Widow. And that one was a mixed media piece, so it has material, cloth material for her outfit, and I think it's beautiful. But I don't like mixed media pieces; it's not my favorite. So when they decided to come out with one that was sculpted, I was really pumped about it, and it was a low edition size for the exclusive. Like I stated earlier, only 750 pieces, so that makes it pretty limited for a major studio like Sideshow. You know, and then I like the idea that it came with two different portraits, so you had the option for the short hair portrait. And then you had the option for the long hair portrait. All right. So when I saw her at the convention, and I didn't really realize this when I first pre-ordered her, but the convention piece, when I saw her in this one piece as well, the line on the head here, on the hair line here, to me doesn't look natural. And that's the reason why I was disappointed with her the minute I saw her. It just doesn't seem right. It almost looks like a cap of hair on top of the head. So that was my major issue that I had with her at the convention. Now that I'm seeing her in person, I have some other things. But overall, I think it's a nice looking piece. There's just some things that I'm nitpicking at probably. I guess some of you all are going to tell me. But, you know, let's go over it. I'll tell you my thoughts. We'll start off with the regular head. All right. So, Black Widow. All right, so this is her standing on top of a Ultron Sentry, and what I like about this piece is it goes very well with the Captain America that's going to be coming out by Daniel Bell, and I think that looks badass. I think they did a good job here on the lower end of the base. It's like a metallic, looks like the flight deck of a hangar, or like the helicarrier. That's what I would think it is. It's got some indications of that. You have this like diamond plated flooring. You have some multi-levels. There's like a vent down here beneath the arm. And then on the back here, there is a shield logo. So I'm thinking this is probably the flight deck of one of the helicarrier. So I think that's kind of cool. Or in a shield base. So it could be that as well. I like that they did some variations in color down here. I think that looks amazing. There's lots of greens and blacks and grays and that kind of thing. So it has like a rusted, weathered feel to it, and there's all kinds of screw bolts in here, you know, so you have like Phillip heads and flat heads all the way around it, and I think that's kind of cool. It has a lot of detail in the base, so I think they did a nice job with that. The Sentry is also pretty cool. Lots of nice detail in there. You know, you got all this detail here in his vertebrae, you know, which I think looks really good, and I like how the metallic arms look and everything. So, you know, I think that looks all great. I do think it looks very comic book like. It does lack a lot of other detail. Like, you would think that if the legs were cut off, that you would see some hanging wire, you know, here, and you don't get that with this. Another thing is the way that it's colored. It's very flat. You know, it's got this really matted gray going across it. You could see things like brush strokes in it, which, you know, I thought that was kind of, you know, a QC issue there. I wish they would have done that a little bit better. You know, and then that's really it. I mean, and it's just very lacking in paint application, where they could have done a lot more detail here. You know, giving a more weathered appeal to the metal. You know, since he's been in a fight. You know, he just got in a fight with Black Widow and she kicked his ass. So you should have some kind of like burnt marks and damage to represent that. I think would have been really cool. I do like that they have all of the little joints, you know, sculpted in. So I think they did a good job with that. Like, especially here in the hands, there's lots of nice little joints there. So there's a lot of little details that they sculpted in. It's not completely lacking, but there are some things that they could have, you know, enhanced a little bit better. All they have really is these like brushed in blue areas, which I'm not understanding how that fits in. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You have the option with this to have this smoke effect on it, you know, to look like he has a bullet hole in the head that she just shot him. You know, you could put that in. I think that's a nice little effect that they have there. It does sit in there kind of loose, so you can see that it doesn't really fit in very tight. You know, so if you don't want to display it with that, you don't have to. You can just take it, put that to the side. You can just leave it with the hole. That's fine. Same thing here in the gun. This fits a little tighter, so I like the way that fits better. But if you don't really want to display it with the smoke, you don't have to. You can have it just like that. All right, so let's move into Black Widow. So I think the outfit for Black Widow looks fantastic. They did a great job with that. There's all kinds of little texturing and detail. I love her boots. Really like the varying texture that they have going on. You know, you have these lines coming up here, and then this nice smooth plated areas here, which I think is more of like a leather padding than anything, because you could tell here up in the thigh it kind of is folding a little bit, so it's kind of like a leather padding. You know, the boots look really cool. They detailed in even the soles, so I think that's nice. You know, good touch there. I really love the color. It's not all just one black. They have like, you know, solid black here for some of the smooth leather plates, which reads kind of like leatherish. But then on the inside, it's like a bluish black, like blue gray, blue black, something like that. It's a little lighter, so you can kind of pick out all of the nice areas where it breaks apart. So I think that's really cool. So over here, there's more of like a fine detailed texture up in the back of the thighs. But then on the sides here, there's just more of that line. So it really gives it some depth when you look all the way around it. It's really cool to look at. So I love that. You know, moving up into the torso area, I love all these little gold things going around her belt. It's a nice little touch there. You know, you have the Black Widow symbol there, which looks really cool. I love the way the folds look. Looks very natural. Like her pose, she looks very confident, strong, so that's really cool too. And I like that she has this big, massive gun. You know, this part is really neat. You know, I think it really stands out. So I love that they did a little bit of weathering in the gun, so there's some scratches in and around it, so I think that looks really cool. One thing they could have done to push it even further is the scope is actually just a flat black. I wish they would have given it like a gloss maybe, or something to make it the indication that it's glass. You know, that would have been kind of a cool touch. You know, that they didn't do it, they didn't go that far. You know, carrying over again with the rest of the lower half of the suit. It's got the same type of texturing going around in the arms and up in the back, and you can see more of those bluish, grayish areas on the undersuit, which look really cool. And it just looks like a functional suit, you know, for her to go into combat with. You know, very neat. I like the breastplate. You know, it looks really nice. So nice gloss and really pops. All right, and the shoulder pads again have the Black Widow logo on it. Overall, I think the torso looks fantastic. You know, they did a great job with that. It's probably the one of the most standout pieces. This part here, the whole torso, and then the lower part of the base. Probably one of the best parts of the statue. Now, the portraits. So, I never was a really big fan of the classic portrait. I do like the long hair portrait better, but you know, when I finally saw them at the convention, I didn't like what they did with the hairline there. It doesn't mean that I love this one portrait here any better. So one of the issues that I have with this portrait is not really the sculpt. I think she looks very pretty, and I like the hair. I think the hair looks, you know, nice and good for being short hair and everything. It's not really red. It reads more like a brown, you know, so I thought she was more of a redhead, at least in my opinion. I guess she could color her hair any way she wants to, so that's one thing. But one of the biggest things that I see about this is that this head in itself is very flat and matte. You know, there's no really popping colors there. You know, everything else has this nice vibrance to it, and that just seems very washed. The brown hair has some varying colors in it, but it's almost the same flat as the skin. The skin looks completely flat, like there's hardly any color in there at all. It's just pretty much just that white, you know, pale skin that she has. Lips don't have any kind of lipstick on it to make me, draw attention to the lips. They're just, flat there, and I guess that's functional because she's a spy. I mean, why does she need to look that sexy? But, that's there. The eyes themselves, they don't have any gloss to them. That would have been kind of cool if they had the gloss, so at least that would stand off a little bit more. But again, they didn't do that. So now as a sculpt, I think it looks really good. I think they did a good job with the portrait. And I also like that they decided to cut the seam right here around this upper shoulder, or is it shoulders? Yeah, the traps area here. So I like that they took and they cut it all around here. So it's a nice seam. You don't see that at all when you're looking at the statue. So I think that looks really good. You can't even tell. Now on this one, it sits pretty good. There's not really a magnet, or there is a magnet, not bad. There is a magnet, but it's not super strong. It's more of the weight, I think, of this head that holds her into place. So I don't think you have to worry about it coming out. So I think that looks really good. All right, so let's move on to the one that I really love to hate. But I mean, I don't know. There's things about it I love her, and there's things that I'm not really digging about it. So now this one, as a paint, looks great. Very vibrant. Matches the rest of the statue. You know, the hair is red. It's really lush. They got nice colors going on there. Varying colors. You know, different types of reds and darker reds and, you know, brownish tones in there. So I love that. The skin tone on this one is much more vibrant than on this one. This one has kind of a matte look to her. I don't know if I'm going to be able to capture that when you look at that, but this one here has more of a matte appearance, while this one doesn't. This one has kind of a little bit of a sheen to it, so that looks really good. You know, her lips may not have the, you know, lipstick on it that makes it pop, but, you know, it still looks good. I like that you can see a little bit of her teeth and everything. So I think her portrait, I think here, looks really nice. You know, eyes, again, they didn't do the thing, you know, they didn't give it a gloss. So that, I feel, is kind of a mishap. They should have done that. That would have made it pop even more. I like that you can see a little bit of her ears in this one, whereas on this one, you know, they're both more or less covered, except for on the left side. So, you know, my main issue with this one really is this line here on the top of the head. It does not look natural to me. Now, if you look at it from different angles, you know, like down below looking up, it doesn't look too bad, you know. But when you look at it dead on, I feel like it just looks like she got taped, you know, like somebody took a clipper and just lined her head up. So I think that just doesn't look right. So, yeah, that's my thoughts about her. You know, overall, it's not the greatest statue, but it's not the worst that I've seen either. So I mean, it's just okay. Yeah, that's the best way I could put that. So I hope that translates. All right, and that is the unboxing and the review of the Black Widow premium format figure by Sideshow Collectibles. I hope you guys had a good time. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please hit subscribe and ding that bell to get notified when we come out with more videos like this, as we're coming out with them pretty often. And you'll get notified first when a video pops out. So definitely do that. Head over to mcecentral.com to check out a wealth of information on collecting, movies, TV, video games, and all kinds of other geek stuff. It's because that's what we like talking about. And we're going to be coming back at you with more videos just like this. So stay tuned for all of that. And until next time, guys, keep it marvelous.